Still horn salute. Let's check the sound here. Alpha Bravo, Charlie Delta. Charlie Delta. Strike. Need a strike on the wire here. We got zips in the wire, zips in the wire. Got some music going here tonight. Massive copyright strikes. Good evening, grunts, troopers, everybody watching my shit, horn salute. Been doing these Army videos and built up a base and a format now, and I think a lot of people are digging some of this Vietnam shit I'm bringing it. I feel honored, man, to bring this shit back to people. I mean, I wasn't there, but I was a kid, and I served a few years later, and I got the honor to serve with these people. Sorry, I'm a Cold War guy, but I think that these guys used to get spit on. They used to throw shit on them, and I think that's so disrespectful now. I was kicked out of the Army for weed, and it's no secret, okay? I had a marijuana problem. Now, little do we know, there was a guy, Peter Lemon, he was actually a Canadian, and one night, it was like April 1st, 1970, the grass must have been great. Nah, man, they say one bowl could have got 5 fuckers high. Me and my old lady, we just smoked about 10 blunts, and I'm still not high enough. So, see, there's this, I'm a bootlegger. I make no money, absolutely no fucking money whatsoever. So, I was kicked out for weed, but this guy here won a Medal of Honor. Well, stoned as fuck on weed. And check this out, it's simple history. I am a bootlegger, and I'm gonna get serious trouble for this video, but fucking hippies, they're singing that drug music.
He used hand grenades to fend off the intensified enemy attack, and after eliminating all but one of the enemy soldiers, he pursued and disposed of the remaining enemy soldier in hand-to-hand combat. Army Sergeant Peter C.
Well, high on marijuana.
In 1950, but
well, high on marijuana.
And later joined the Army. On April 1st, 1970, Sergeant Lemon, while serving as an assistant machine gunner during the defensive fire support base Illingworth. When the base came under heavy enemy attack,
that's what I looked like as a teenager with a cut-off
enemy with machine gun
fatigue.
And rifle fire from his defensive position until both weapons malfunctioned. He then used hand grenades to fend off the intensified enemy attack launched in his direction. After eliminating all but one of the enemy soldiers in the immediate vicinity, he pursued and disposed of the remaining soldier.
Goddamn right, love it.
Despite fragment wounds from an exploding grenade,
love it.
Sergeant Lemon regained his position, carried a more seriously wounded comrade to an aid station, and, as he returned, was wounded a second time by enemy fire. Disregarding his personal injuries, he moved to his position through a hail of small arms and grenade fire. Sergeant Lemon immediately realized that the defensive sector was in danger of being overrun by the enemy and unhesitatingly assaulted the enemy soldiers by throwing hand grenades and engaging
more hand-to-hand. This guy loved to fight, didn't he?
A third time, but his determined efforts successfully drove the enemy.
Afraid to kill zipperheads tonight. In the wire, in the wire.
Sergeant Lemon stood atop an embankment fully exposed to enemy fire, and placed effective fire upon the enemy until he collapsed from his multiple wounds and exhaustion. After regaining consciousness at the aid station, he refused medical evacuation until his more seriously wounded comrades had been evacuated. Sergeant Lemon's gallantry and extraordinary heroism, above and beyond the call of duty, are in keeping with the highest traditions of the military service. God bless Sergeant Lemon. And God bless our vets.
This guy was high on fucking weed. It just said, I got kicked out. I'm serious, I got kicked out for weed. I know a lot. I was the last of 20 people that marijuana. Look at this, we gotta pay homage to a Medal of Honor while fucking stoned, man.
After this, Lemon resorts to the only thing he has at this point, his bare hands, and closes with the enemy, fighting a lone NVA soldier to the death. And that was when the base exploded, hurling Lemon to the ground. There was a pile of 8-inch artillery shells stacked in the centre of the firebase, and an NVA mortar shell struck it, detonating the shells in a huge explosion that destroyed much of the base and injured many Americans nearby. Lemon was wounded and still high on the pot he had smoked, and yet was somehow able to drag one of his badly hurt men to an aid station. After this, he found another bag of grenades and began to hurl these at a fresh wave of attacking NVA soldiers. The end.
Where they would have to fight and win or be overrun.
Again, I'm a bootlegger. I make no money.
Enemy
Specialist Peter Lemon.
So if I get caught, sorry.
Completely stoned.
We're paying homage to a dude stoned on fucking pot, man. Went in the Medal of Honor.
Running and screaming.
Zipper heads in the wire. We got zips in the wire.
Soldiers. Unknowingly, the enemy was concentrating its attacks at the southwest corner of the base, where the infantry defense was the strongest. In a hurried daze, as countless communists were swarming in and threatening to overwhelm the base.
Anyway, everybody jacks everybody's military shit, don't they?
To assist M60 machine.
Well, yeah, you had to jack this video from somewhere to do a documentary on
Their
it.
gun to jam constantly and obscured the angered onrushing troops until they were buried.
Hey, at least I served my country when I'm doing this bootleg.
According to Lemon, the scene felt almost imaginary, like an action movie.
I need to get high and do zips in the wire. We got zips in the wire.
He would later confirm, quote, "It was the only time I ever went into combat stoned. You get really alert when you're stoned, because you have to be." When his mate's gun jammed amidst firing at the oncoming wave of men, Specialist Lemon took his M16 rifle, and in a rush of adrenaline, with all his senses more heightened than ever, unleashed his rifle's power with precision, taking down 5 NVA before it also malfunctioned. Discarding his rifle, Lemon picked up hand grenades and hurled them at the communists.
Gotta love a guy like this, high as fuck, wanting to kill people.
Enemy soldiers.
It wins a Medal of Honor, man.
Lemon rolled up his sleeves.
Medal of Honor, high as fuck.
North Vietnamese troop with his bare hands in hand-to-hand combat. As he was about to knock him out, shortly after 3 in the morning, a titanic roaring explosion lifted both of them and everyone else in Firebase Illingworth up from the ground. Only a day before, the base mistakenly received an erroneous delivery of 40 tons of 8-inch artillery shells. Being of no use to them, the Americans placed the ordnance in a neat pile right in the middle of the base. How the explosion happened will forever remain unknown, whether it was from one of the many small fires nearby, a deliberately thrown satchel charge, or one of the thousands of grenade and mortar rounds raining all over the base. The explosion created a giant mushroom cloud that made the soldiers wonder if an atomic blast had hit them. Some of those close to the blast were sucked into the sky, while everyone else was tossed through the air.
Boom!
Chaos ripped through all the men at Illingworth. Eardrums were blown, guns ripped away from hands, and dirt and dust flew everywhere, jamming every single weapon around the base. For minutes, it seemed like an eternity. Destruction rained from the sky. Falling shrapnel, equipment, and men caused a hurricane of confusion and pain.
I'm gonna stop it there. It's this Dark Ducks. That's who I bootlegged it from. I gotta give credit where credit's due. I gotta steal a few minutes. This guy.
Soldier who fought off
I love simple history.
While high on marijuana. The Vietnam War, 1970. His bunk. He was high on marijuana, but he knew he had to respond to the
I love simple history. That's how I found out about this guy. Was this?
Soldiers were already.
Sorry for bootleg. It's simple history, guys.
Grabbed an M60 machine gun.
Yeah, there he goes, high as fuck.
Enemy soldier.
I love this shit.
Rounds were exploding all over.
Who don't like a good cartoon, right? Come on, man.
But Lemon kept raining fire down on the enemy. Once his M60 jammed, he continued to fight the enemy with his assault rifle. When the rifle jammed as well, he fought off the enemy.
Yeah, choke that motherfucker out. Shank him, shank him.
Suddenly, Lemon was knocked to the ground by a powerful explosion coming.
There's this explosion they keep talking about.
The Vietnamese had hit the 40-ton pile of 8-inch artillery shells stacked in the middle of the base.
They all have mean faces. You ever watch this? They all have a mean face.
Dig in the ammunition stock, but the commander insisted that they not waste time on such things.
We'll keep going.
He ran toward the nearest machine gun and opened fire against the NVA.
Look at his mean face. Let me see your war face. Ah, that's your war face. Let me see your real war face. He scares me.
Out. At 5 a.m., the North Vietnamese withdrew into the jungle.
I love simple. I'm sorry, I got to bootleg it. If I get in trouble, I get in trouble.
First aid station. It was.
I make no money.
He still insisted he was all right.
I make no money doing this.
Evacuated by helicopter.
He's still getting high. That's what I love about it. He's still getting high, man.
Limits of courage for their gallantry.
Look at that. The metal. I got to stop. I'm in so much trouble already. So. I know a lot of good dudes that got kicked out for fucking weed. Mad Mac McClendon from Eufaula, Alabama comes right number fucking 1. This guy was like super sergeant, man. He's a guy you'd follow anywhere. Seriously, man. He was a good dude. He was always hiding. Never smoked Panamanian red before, but man, I've never been so fucked up in my life till I smoked some of that shit. brand new private in the Army, man. I hadn't been high in months, and this guy had connections from Panama, man. God, I got fucking ripped. I'd never been so high in my fucking life. But time I entered in, their views about weed had changed and shit. And I never knew about this till recently. It was a fucking cartoon that showed me. So I know I'm in big trouble. I'm going to get some copyright strikes. I really don't give a fuck. I don't make a dime do it. I just wanted to honor a fucking stoner tonight that won a Medal of Honor. Horn salute. I'm glad to do this and people are actually enjoying it. I actually get some likes and comments. Appreciate that, guys. Thanks for watching tonight. Light up, have some fun, and let's get some zips in the wire. Hoo-ah, hoo-ah, hoo-ah.